Seminar ilmiah di ruangan yang begini, cantik dan megahnya, dan mari kita ucapkan syukur alhamdulillah bahwa kita bisa berkumpul di sini untuk bersama-sama mengikuti seminar ilmiah dan juga kongres akan kita laksanakan besok. Hari ini kita mendapat kehormatan yang luar biasa dari Presiden, ya, Presiden terpilih. Presiden apa? Presiden dari International Federation of Library Association and Institutions. Jadi ini ceritanya Federasi Internasional IPI tingkat internasional, gitu. IPI tingkat internasional. Jadi bisa juga IPI ya, Ikatan Pustakawan Internasional. Coba, kita juga bisa buat itu. Jadi IFLA sama dengan Ikatan Pustakawan Internasional. Mari kita bersama tangan. Baiklah, Bapak Ibu sekalian, saya akan bacakan, tapi saya boleh duduk ya. Ini kalau sudah orang tua ini agak saya duduk untuk membacakan sedikit mengenai beliau ini siapa. Ya, beliau adalah namanya Christine Mackenzie. Ya, beliau nanti akan menjabat sebagai Presiden dari Ikatan Pustakawan Internasional mulai pada tahun 2019 sampai dengan tahun 2021. Jadi dalam sistem pemilihan presiden yang baru itu sudah dilakukan pada tahun ini, dan beliau nantinya akan menjadi presiden di kurun waktu 2019 sampai 2021. Ya, siapa beliau? Christine adalah seorang benar-benar pustakawan perpustakaan umum yang mengabdikan dirinya selama puluhan tahun di perpustakaan umum di Melbourne, di Australia, ada di beberapa tempat, ya. Bahkan beliau ini juga sempat menjadi aktif di Ikatan Pustakawan Internasional itu, ya, semenjak tahun 2015-an sebagai bendahara, ya. Jadi Anda Bapak Ibu bayangkan bahwa beliau kantor dari IPI ini ada di Nederland, ya, di Belanda, di Den Haag. Beliau bertempat tinggal di Melbourne. Baik, dan kemudian di beliau ini juga amat sangat banyak sudah, jadi kegiatannya di IFLA sudah belasan tahun, ya, dan juga pernah mendapatkan beberapa beasiswa, penghargaan juga sebagai dalam kapasitas beliau sebagai pustakawan umum. Nanti mari kita tiru semuanya untuk ini ya. Mari kita beri tepuk tangan dulu kepada Christine. Dengan Oke.
Selamat pagi. The President of the Indonesian Library Association, Pak Dadi, the Head of Surabaya Library, the Chairman of the Indonesian Library Association of East Java Province, all heads of city and district libraries, East Java Province, dear colleagues, dear friends, Bapak dan Ibu yang saya cintai. I'm afraid that's all the Bahas in Indonesia I know. I'll have to thank you, Tami, for teaching me that last night. In Australia, it is customary to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land. I was born in the Kongres region in Australia, and if I was attending a meeting in that region, I would pay respect to their elders. Today, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land where we are meeting for this Congress and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. So this is a popping bit. I make this acknowledgement to highlight that the United Nations has announced that next year will be the International Year of Indigenous Languages. I would also like to give my greatest sympathy to the tragedy in Sulawesi and convey to you my deep sorrow for the great loss of life and devastation that the earthquake and the tsunami have caused. I bring greetings from International Federation of Library Association and Institutions President Gloria Perez-Salmeron and Secretary General Gerald Leitner, who have asked me to convey their best wishes for a very successful Congress. I would like to thank you, Tami, for inviting me to your conference. All 687 of you, though I'm not sure that you're all here yet, but let's hope that some more come later. I was just wondering how many people understand me. Can you put up your hand if you can understand me?
Bisa ya? Bisa memahami ya apa yang mungkin kita minta supaya bicaranya pelan-pelan dikit ya. They ask us, we ask you to speak a little bit slowly. Okay, thank you.
Because it's going to be a very long hour if you do not understand me. So if you don't understand, please let us know and you, Tami, can translate. But I have tried to put a lot of information on the PowerPoint slides so that you might be able to read it as well. So this is my first trip to Java. I have been to Bali before, but I haven't been to Java. And I like the theme of this conference very much. Transforming the libraries, transforming the society. These are active words, they're proactive, they're doing words, and that's what we need to do. We're all on this journey of transformation. IFLA is too, and we all in this room know the power of libraries. It's very good to be here in this city of Surabaya, which has been a smart city since 2002. It's very advanced with e-government services, with its Internet of Things systems. It has free access to internet for its citizens. It has e-education, e-health, e-permits, and lots of other e-things, including a traffic management system. And it has two-way communication by electronic means between government and citizen. So I think it's very fitting that this library conference is being held in Surabaya. So why must libraries in Indonesia be transformed? One of the reasons is that the PISA data for 2015 reports that more than 86% of Indonesian 15-year-olds read at PISA level 2 or below. That is, they are unable to consistently perform level 3 skills such as locating and recognising the relationship between several pieces of information in a text. And these skills are essential for secondary and tertiary education. And I found this article about literacy in Indonesia. It points out how important literacy is in a global society, because anyone who is not literate will not fit with the fast-moving world development. And Indonesians, particularly in remote areas, are still tend to like oral tradition rather than literary tradition. But the Indonesian government has been active in strengthening literacy in Indonesia, and the school literacy movement, or GLS, wants to grow the morale of learners through the culture of school literacy ecosystem in Garikana Literati Sekolah in order that they become lifelong learners. And I was delighted to meet the Ambassador for Reading for Java Province yesterday and Monday. Salat Literacy.
Salam literasi. Salam.
As long as I don't say anything rude, Utami. So, we have a challenge of literacy in Indonesia. Do you agree? You agree? So, what can we do about it? What in this room can we do about it? What is the solution? What is the solution to literacy challenges? Libraries. So whether it's the magnificent new 24-storey National Library in Jakarta, which I've been told is the largest national library in the world, or whether it is a small municipal library in a village in Java. Libraries can help solve the challenges of literacy. The role of the library is broad. We do training, we do literacy training, and foster the love of reading through having books available. There are digital literacy classes. We provide content. We provide safe places for people to go. And to be successful, we must adapt. As Richard Branson, the founder of Virgin Airlines, says, every success story is a tale of constant adaptation, revision, and change. Do you think libraries in Indonesia are changing? Changing? Are you changing? Good. Because we can't stay the same. We can't continue to grow and offer new services by staying the same. As Utami said, I'm from IFLA, and today I wanted to set the work that you do in your libraries in the global context. Utami, I should have asked you, did you bring your poster up? Could someone hold one up? Has anyone got it? It's okay. I should have remembered. It's okay. Utami's had some beautiful posters made of this, our vision, our future, and she's done it in 6 languages, so hopefully your language will be there. And we'll get a photograph of as many people as we can afterwards. So do you know about IFLA? Do people know what IFLA is? Put your hand up if you have heard of IFLA. Not so many. Well, IFLA has been in existence for 91 years. It was founded in 1927. It is in The Hague, it's headquartered in The Hague in the Netherlands. And it is the global voice of libraries. So as the title says, all the library associations belong to IFLA, and institutions and also personal members. So who is IFLA? IFLA has nearly 1,300 members from 137 countries. The United Nations recognises 195 countries, and so IFLA has a very wide representation of countries around the world. There are 60 different professional units in IFLA, and so if you think of our profession of librarianship, there are 60 is a lot of different interests, so everybody can find a place to go in IFLA. And there are 1,200 people who are on standing committees. So IFLA aims to promote high standards of provision and delivery of library and information services, encourage a widespread understanding of the value of good library and information services, and represent the interests of our members throughout the world. So just as the Indonesian libraries and the Indonesian society is transforming, so is IFLA. IFLA is transforming because the challenges facing the library field from ever-increasing globalisation can only be met and overcome by an inclusive global response from a united library field. And that's the same with your libraries in Indonesia, it's the same for our libraries in Australia, it's the same everywhere. We have to work together to overcome the challenges of a global world. The reason that we had this transformation of IFLA was the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. I think they've done work, I know they've done work here in Indonesia. They were winding up their Global Libraries program after 20 years providing support to public libraries around the world, and $1 billion US were put into libraries. And so the Global Libraries program is coming to an end, and the foundation wanted to provide a legacy. And so they have made IFLA a legacy partner and provided IFLA with $32 million US, as well as Public Library Association in the US and the University of Washington. And so that money has enabled us to do this global vision project. Could you summarise perhaps what I'm just asking you, Tami, now to hold up the posters that she's had made. Can you read them?
Ini adalah tadi yang dikemukakan oleh Ibu Christine. Ini adalah tagline dari IFLA, Our Vision, Our Future. Ada dibuat di dalam 6 bahasa, ya. Dan kita dulu kan ya, kita juga sudah membuat ini visi kita, masa depan kita. Mari kita beri tepuk tangan ini. Ini bahasa kita kan, dan I ask your permission, right? Saya meminta izin kepada beliau kemarin untuk menerjemahkan, walaupun although bahasa Indonesia is still not the official language of United Nations, but you give us the permission, diberi izin untuk menerjemahkan, ya, inilah yang kita terjemahkan.
So whose language is that?
Ya, ada beberapa dalam beberapa bahasa, ya. Ini bahasa what is it? French.
French?
Oh, French. Okay.
Oh, I see. I've done it in the official languages. I thought you'd done it in Indonesian languages.
Oh, yeah. So, okay. This is also ada di sini. Dan beberapa nanti kita berfoto bersama untuk menunjukkan kepada dunia, kepada.
Did you do one in Indonesian?
Iya, ikatan.
Oh, that one.
Ya,
Okay.
Ini.
Yep.
Ya, ini nanti ya akan kita foto bersama nanti menyatakan bahwa kita secara global bersatu, berkolaborasi di dalam semangat untuk memajukan pustakawan dan perpustakaan. Terima kasih.
Thank you, Tami. So since March last year, we've consulted with 190 of the United Nations member states on 7 continents. So we even had input from Antarctica. And as I said before, there are 195 UN member states, so all but 5 contributed to this global vision for IFLA. And that is truly a remarkable thing for a global organisation to have such a wide input from so many people. Can I ask, did anyone in this room answer the questionnaire about the IFLA Global Vision?
Ayo semangat, ada yang ingin bertanya mengenai Global Vision ini? Ya, sekarang bisa ditanyakan langsung biar lebih interaktif, biar lebih semangat. Ya, ya ada yang menanyakan? Belum ada ya, masih belum. Oke. Oh ada.
Well done.
Ya.
Well done.
Baik, silakan.
Thank you.
Konsepnya dulu jelaskan.
Iya. Apa yang akan ditanyakan tadi? Singkat padat karena kita juga waktunya panjang ya. Bentar nanti.
Okay, thank you. I'm Agus Surabaya from Yogyakarta Special Geography. I have a question about IFLA vision. Our vision is our future. Our future is from here, from now. So, because we move from Yaman now, so we must to take a millionaire people to take that they are also like and to the library, and so in the next they are become a librarian. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and I'm so pleased that you were part of it. It's really important to have your voice heard, and so I'm going to tell you later about the ideas store, and so I hope that you will contribute to that because we want to know what you all think. And so you can see from these figures that there is a lot of input for the global vision. A lot of workshops, a lot of people that answered the survey online, and it was from all different areas of the world. 14% of the contributors were from Asia and Oceania. Public libraries and academic libraries equally represented, and but all kinds of libraries too. And library experience. So we've got people who have not been in libraries for so long, and also people who have been in libraries for a long time. And so what we ended up with this global vision summary report. And so I'm just going to go through those in a minute. Now, Utami has said she's going to translate this into Indonesian. The template, yes. Yes, and you can download it in English or any, and there are a lot of languages there now, but probably not yours, well it isn't. But Utami said she's going to do it. Big hand for Utami.
Tadi laporan yang report summary itu dengan mudah bisa kita unduh dari situs IFLA, dari situs Ikatan Pustakawan Internasional. Nah, Ikatan Pustakawan Indonesia dengan segera akan juga menerjemahkan ke dalam bahasa Indonesia, karena ada prosedur tertentu juga yang harus kami lakukan agar bisa nantinya dimuat dan diunggah di dalam IFLA dan dalam situs IFLA. Jadi mari kita tunggu, saat ini kita tunggu dulu ya. Baik, terima kasih.
So the vision, you see what the vision is? the strong and united library field. Can you translate that?
Di sini dikatakan bahwa masa depan kita atau visi kita adalah masa depan kita. Yang penting di bawah dikatakan bahwa kata kuncinya di sini adalah United Library Field, di mana kita semuanya bersatu dan kuat, akan jelas memberdayakan dan akan meningkatkan masyarakat yang literasi, yang berliterasi, dan juga masyarakat yang berpartisipasi secara aktif. Kemarin saya katakan juga bahwa kita akan menuju kepada lifelong learner society, gitu ya. Jadi masyarakat pembelajar sepanjang hayat, berkolaborasi bersama-sama di tingkat global, collaboration in global level.
So one of the key findings, what were the key findings of all this consultation? The main key finding was that we are united globally in our goals and values. So it doesn't matter where we are in the world, we are all agreed that libraries are about these things that I'm going to talk about. And the other thing is we must connect global and local actions effectively. So we need for you to work effectively at a local level, but also to think globally. And I hope that the presentation today about these highlights will help set what you're doing in context. So there are 10 highlights and opportunities. There are 10 highlights, what libraries are doing, what we all agree libraries are doing, and there are 10 opportunities for being better, because we all have to transform. So the first highlight, do you think it's best if you read them out? You read them out. We are dedicated to equal and free access to information and knowledge. Does everyone agree that's what libraries are about? Yes? But we must be champions of intellectual freedom. So libraries need to be champions of freedom of expression and freedom to read. The second highlight, we remain deeply committed to supporting literacy, learning and reading. Do you agree with that one?
Setuju ya? Jadi kata kuncinya adalah selalu deeply committed, selalu berkomitmen secara terus-menerus ya, untuk mendukung literasi, pembelajaran dan membaca, reading.
But the opportunity is we must update our traditional roles in the digital age, and that's what you'll be talking about today. You just said that.
Seperti juga yang dikemukakan oleh bapak-bapak tadi malam di dalam pembukaan, bahwa kita memasuki, sudah agak lama ini, kita memasuki digital age. Tadi ada pertanyaan dari Jogja bahwa kita berhadapan dengan generasi milenial, generasi zaman now, yang kalau saya mengatakan generasi menunduk, karena jarang sekali mereka mendongak. Setiap saat mereka menunduk terus, bahkan mungkin nabrak kita ya. Dimanapun Anda bertemu dengan orang-orang mesti selalu menunduk, ya, di kereta api, di bis dan lain sebagainya. Jadi saya men-label mereka sebagai generasi menunduk. Okay, always like this. Tapi ini adalah tantangan kita. This is our challenge.
Number 3, we are focused on serving our communities. But we need to understand community needs better and design services for impact.
Siapa lagi yang dari awal begitu kita mencanangkan diri kita sebagai pustakawan, kita adalah orang-orang yang diharapkan dan memang wajib mengetahui ya apa yang dibutuhkan oleh pemustaka kita, sehingga kita selalu fokus, kita selalu mengerahkan perhatian kita kepada community atau kepada masyarakat pemustaka yang kita layani. Jadi di sini benar-benar merupakan penekanan, highlight, penekanan dan juga opportunity, kesempatan. Kita buka kesempatan bagi mungkin yang belum sepenuhnya melakukan hal ini, tapi ini sudah diakui secara global.
Number 4, we embrace digital innovation, but we must keep up with ongoing technological change.
Kira-kira yang masih ingat, kita dulu pernah kongres IPI di Padang, lah dulu pakai apa itu? Tidak ada di PowerPoint dan lain sebagainya, tidak ada laptop, ya. Kita mengutamakan pada suara waktu itu. Nah, di sini kita selalu harus embrace, selalu mengikuti inovasi-inovasi digital. Ya, salah satu literasi dasar yang dicanangkan oleh World Economic Forum adalah literasi digital. Nah ini karena itu kita selalu harus mengikuti perkembangan dan perubahan teknologi yang selalu setiap saat terjadi.
Number 5, we have leaders who see the need for strong advocacy, but we need more and better advocates at all levels.
Kita sudah punya dari apa yang dikemukakan oleh para pemimpin kita, bahwa mereka menyadari bahwa pentingnya sekali pendampingan, advocacy. Nah, tapi kita membutuhkan lagi more and better advocates at all levels. Artinya di setiap tingkatan kita membutuhkan yang lebih baik, yang lebih aktif di dalam hal pendampingan, kita sebagai pustakawan untuk membantu memberikan pelayanan yang terbaik.
And I'll talk more about advocacy later in the presentation. Number 6, we see funding as one of our biggest challenges. Is funding a problem in Indonesian libraries?
Yes.
It is all around the world. I don't know any libraries who say they have enough money. We need to ensure stakeholders understand our value and impact.
Dana anggaran itu menjadi masalah klasik. Ya. Namun demikian tadi, ya, itu menjadi salah satu tantangan yang berat. Tapi kita harus selalu memastikan bahwa pemangku kepentingan yang terkait dengan pelayanan perpustakaan itu memahami nilai dan dampak layanan perpustakaan terhadap masyarakat. Siapa yang bisa mengerjakannya? Adalah kita semuanya, pustakawan.
Number 7, we see the need to build collaboration and partnerships, and we need to develop a spirit of collaboration.
Ya, kita dari zaman ke zaman sudah punya gotong royong. Di sini namanya saja berapa? Kolaborasi, kerjasama, ya, kemitraan. Nah, kita harus bisa mengembangkan semangat berkolaborasi, semangat bekerja sama di tingkat regional, nasional, dan juga internasional.
Number 8, we want to be less bureaucratic, inflexible, and resistant to change. We need to challenge current structures and behaviors.
Di sini yang perlu kita garis bawahi adalah bahwa tadi yang dikemukakan perubahan. Kita harus dengan rela mengikuti dan mengikuti perubahan yang ada. Ya, kita harapkan kita tidak lagi menjadi terlalu birokratis, tidak terlalu kaku, dan juga ini tadi menolak perubahan. Nah ini rupanya menjadi challenge bukan hanya di kita, tetapi di seluruh dunia.
Number 9, we are the guardians of the memory of the world. But our opportunity is that we need to maximize access to the world's documentary heritage.
Ya, dan ini sudah kita lakukan ya dari berbagai level ya, Pak Zul, dan bahwa kita merupakan penjaga dan juga pengelola ini tadi memory of the world, naskah-naskah dan juga semua hal-hal yang terkait dengan kekayaan dari budaya di Indonesia. Nah, cuma di sini ada dikatakan ya, kita memerlukan untuk meningkatkan, to maximize akses ke ini tadi, khasanah dokumentasi budaya dari dunia. Kita mulai dari tingkat daerah dulu dan kemudian nanti ke nasional dan nanti sehingga nanti akan bisa diakses oleh seluruh insan di dunia ini.
And number 10 highlight, our young professionals are deeply committed and eager to lead. We must give young professionals effective opportunities to learn, develop and lead. And before you go, Utami, can you ask everyone who has worked in libraries for less than 10 years to please stand up? Everyone who has worked in libraries for less than 10 years to please stand up.
Baik, saya mohon dengan sangat jujur, bagi mereka yang bekerja di dunia kepustakawanan dan perpustakaan kurang dari 10 tahun, jadi belum sampai 10 tahun, kurang dari 10 tahun, ayo berdiri, ayo jangan malu-malu, berdiri, ayo berdiri, ayo, kurang dari 10 tahun, Anda termasuk yang milenial ya, tapi tidak selalu generasi penduduk ya,
This is the future. So welcome, and I'm so pleased that you're here at this conference. I have a video, but I don't think it's going to work. Who loves Microsoft? I'm sorry about this. I had a video about the Ideas Store. Okay, so off we go again. If you go to the IFLA website, https://ideas.ifla.org, you'll find the video there that goes through all those opportunities again and talks about the Ideas Store. And so what we want from you over the next month is to hear your ideas about how you think that we can address the challenges that Utami and I have described. So please go in and add your voice, because we need to hear from Indonesia. Yes. So please note that URL and please go in and have a look. So the other part of my talk and presentation today is about the United Nations 2030 Agenda. Who is familiar with the United Nations 2030 Agenda and the Sustainable Development Goals? Please put up your hand if you have heard.
Mohon angkat tangan yang paham mengenai tujuan pembangunan berkelanjutan atau Sustainable Development Goals. Mohon, ya, baik. Ada di belakang?
Not so many people. So in 2015, the 193 member states of the United Nations adopted the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. And there are 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And they represent a universal, transformative, there's that word again, an integrated agenda that heralds a historic turning point for our world. So IFLA has been involved in shaping those 17 Sustainable Development Goals and has lobbied to have access to information included in the Sustainable Development Goals. Utami, can you just say that in Indonesian, please? That IFLA was lobbying
ya, seperti tadi juga dikemukakan bahwa IFLA sudah dengan aktif melobi dan berkoordinasi dengan PBB untuk juga mengikut sertakan atau ikut berpartisipasi mendukung Sustainable Development Goals ini, tujuan pembangunan berkelanjutan ini. Dan memang nanti ya setelah sesi ini nanti dengan gembira kita akan mendengarkan memang iya bahwa pemerintah Indonesia juga telah mengakui dan bahkan telah membuat perencanaan untuk mengikut sertakan perpustakaan dan pustakawan di dalam upaya mendukung tujuan pembangunan berkelanjutan. Dan IFLA telah memiliki semua ketentuan-ketentuan itu, dan mungkin sebagian dari kita memang belum mendengarkan, tapi ini semuanya ini juga bisa diakses di dalam situs IFLA.
And so IFLA has been running an international advocacy program for the last 2 years to show how libraries can help their countries achieve the agenda and the targets set out. And Indonesia is due to report, a voluntary report from Indonesia is happening next year. And Stephen Weiber from IFLA has told me that Indonesia is doing very good things to ensure that libraries are included in the government's agenda for achieving the targets. So what do we mean by advocacy? Would you like to read out, I'll put it in Indonesian too, what advocacy means? Does that make it, are you familiar with this concept? Yes. So it's people advocating, people or groups advocating for a particular cause within political, economic and social systems. And so what it means for us is that every librarian needs to be an advocate. So we have advocates at the National Library, we have advocates in the Library Association, but you must be advocates. You must tell everyone of the great work that libraries do. So one of the items listed in the vision for the United Nations 2030 agenda is universal literacy. Now, as I discussed before, this is particularly important for Indonesia. Indonesia's literacy rate is going up, but it is still lower than the developed nations. And this is it's what we call in English a low bar, because this means that people can read and write their own name. It doesn't mean they can read a newspaper article. It doesn't mean they can read information on their medicine. It doesn't mean that they can read the precautions on an insecticide. They can only read this level has come from people reading and writing their own name. And even more concerning is that women represent 2/3 of all illiterate adults globally. So I have some work for you. And I'll ask you, Tami, to translate this. But what I want you to do is, you all have pencil and paper in front of you. I want you to write down one bold idea, what you can do in your library to improve literacy rates. So think of one thing that you could do to improve literacy rates.
Ya, saya mohon semuanya menuliskan di dalam secari kertas ide yang paling berani, ide yang paling brilian, bagaimana caranya Anda bisa, kita semuanya ini untuk memperbaiki tingkat atau memperbaiki tingkat dari literasi ini, ya. Nah, artinya menghapuskan atau mengurangi illiterasi, tapi kemudian kita meningkatkan tingkat literasi. Tolong dituliskan di dalam sari kertas, nanti akan kita kumpulkan. Hanya 1 menit, ya, makasih 1 menit, dan nanti tolong mohon panitia nanti untuk mengumpulkan ya 1 menit saja. Ya, 45 detik, 44. Baik, nanti secara teknis bisa kita kumpulkan ya, technically. Ya, dipegang saja dulu kertasnya.
Has everyone written one thing down?
Sudah menulis? 1?
Now turn to your neighbour and tell them what you have written.
Ya. Coba berbagi dengan tetangga Anda di sebelah Anda. Kira-kira apa yang Anda tulis dan apa yang tetangga Anda tulis? Ya. Silakan berbagi dan mendiskusikannya dengan teman di sebelah, ya.
Okay, so those ideas can go in the ideas store, but also you can go home and back to your libraries and talk about them with the other people that work in your library. One of the other major parts of the Sustainable Development Goals for libraries is having information to access to information as one of the targets, and that is included in Target 16. So now I have another job for you. What can you do in your library to improve access to information?
Ya, ada lagi tugas, ya. Mari kita mainkan juga nih. Coba tolong ditulis satu ide Anda, apa yang bisa kita lakukan di perpustakaan kita untuk memperbaiki atau meningkatkan akses ke informasi, ya. Nah, nanti sudah diberikan.
Right, 1 minute to write.
1 minute to write, ya, 1 menit, dan nanti diskusikan dengan tetangga di sebelah. Oke, coba tolong di-share juga dengan teman sebelahnya. Ya, di-share, ya. Bicarakan dengan teman di sebelahnya. Kira-kira apa yang bisa dilakukan untuk meningkatkan atau memperbaiki akses terhadap informasi?
Perhaps they can turn to the person behind them this time. Okay, 1 minute's up. Would you like to turn to the person behind you and share your ideas?
Sekarang bertukar dengan teman yang di belakang Anda.
And if you don't know each other, say your name.
Ya. Coba sambil berkenalan. Nama saya. Ya. Sambil berkenalan, mari kita bertukar ide dengan teman yang duduk di belakang.
selesai.
Okay, lots of good ideas, lots of chatting, that's great.
Ya, baik.
So, we need to, goal 9, can you listen to me again?
Ayo, mari sudah kita kembali lagi. Senang sekali nih, teman-teman sangat ini ya.
You get another chance to talk to each other in a minute. If you could just listen to me, you won't know what to talk about. Hello. Thank you. So we need to, goal 9 is we need to significantly increase access to information and communications technology. We need more digital literacy education. What can you do in your library? Do you know about the digital divide? So some people have access to information and other people don't. What is it in your library that you could do to improve people's digital literacy?
Ya, sama tadi. Ya, jadi bagaimana apa yang bisa kita lakukan untuk meningkatkan literasi digital? Literasi digital merupakan satu literasi dasar yang dicanangkan oleh World Economic Forum. Tolong dicatat juga dan kemudian share juga dengan teman.
You must be getting good at thinking about ideas by now. Has everyone thought of one idea to improve the digital divide in your library? Or what you could do in your library? Again, share it with the person sitting next to you.
Ya, mari ditukar lagi. Dan ini memang menjadi harusnya dimulai dari diri kita dulu ya. Sebelum kita bisa memperbaiki tingkat literasi digital dari pembusaka kita mulai dengan diri kita sendiri dulu. Mari kita biasakan untuk juga, ya bukan jadi generasi penduduk sih, tapi untuk juga membiasakan dengan teknologi digital yang berada di sekitar kita. Mohon nanti di-share ya.
And goal 11 is about cultural memory and preserving cultural heritage. And I know that Indonesia has a very rich cultural heritage, and many libraries will have very special collections of cultural heritage. So again, if you could just think about what your library can do to preserve cultural heritage.
Ya, apa yang bisa kita lakukan di dalam perpustakaan kita untuk melestarikan khasanah kekayaan budaya? Sebetulnya mudah sekali ya. Dalam keseharian kita sudah berhadapan, ada jamu beras kencur. Itu apa sih sebetulnya menunya? Ya, kunir asem. Terus mengapa kita harus menggunakan satu ramuan tertentu untuk mengobati sakit gigi? Itu salah satu sebetulnya, salah banyak ya, banyak sekali hal-hal yang berada di sekitar kita yang merupakan kekayaan budaya kita. Bagaimana caranya kita juga melestarikan itu sehingga generasi yang berikutnya, generasi milenial itu juga paham. Kok minum beras kencur itu untuk apa sebetulnya? Minum kunir asem itu untuk apa? Ya, baik. Sama dengan yang tadi, tolong dicatat, tolong dituliskan dan mungkin di-share dengan teman di sebelahnya atau di sampingnya.
So now we should have 600 ideas multiplied by 4. 2,400 ideas in this room about what you can do about access to information, improving digital literacy, preserving cultural heritage, and helping with literacy. That's a lot of ideas. Please put them in the ideas store.
Ya, ada 2.400. Tadi ada 4 ide yang kita kemukakan di kalangan 600 lebih di sini. Jadi berarti ada 2.400 ide baru nih. Ide yang bisa nanti di-post, diunggah ke situs yang tadi telah disebutkan. Ya, jadi ini adalah ide, bayangkan 2.400 hanya di ruangan ini.
Because libraries have a really important role in helping achieve the agenda of 2030. I went to a conference on the Gold Coast, Utami was there too, and we had someone from the United Nations who said that 65% of the effort to achieve these targets is local. It is not the government, it is the local people that need to do the things that have to happen to improve people's lives and the sustainability of this planet.
Dalam pertemuan tentang tujuan pembangunan berkelanjutan yang diadakan di Gold Coast, di mana Christine, saya juga hadir di sana dan dihadiri oleh tidak hanya dari utusan dari negara yang sudah maju, tetapi dari Vanuatu, dari Samoa, yang semuanya sepakat bahwa ternyata 65% dari upaya untuk meningkatkan, untuk memperbaiki tingkat literasi itu berada di masyarakat, di kita, ya, di lingkungan yang paling berada di lingkungan diri kita. 65%. Jadi kita ini luar biasa ini, ya, kita memiliki peran yang luar biasa.
So, every librarian is an advocate. IFLA also has the library map of the world, and so this lists all the libraries in the world. And you can go there and you can put your stories about how you have helped achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. So again, this is on the IFLA website. So please visit the IFLA website. There is a lot of information there. This is a librarian. This was in the Guardian newspaper. And I think it's a very nice summary for what I've been talking about today. I just have a bit of trouble reading it from here. Libraries are about freedom. Do you agree with that? Freedom to read, freedom of ideas, freedom of communication. They are about education, about entertainment, about making safe spaces, and about access to information. This is my presidential theme when I become president of IFLA next year. Let's work together. And so I invite all you to work together. You can't do it by yourself, you must work together. And with IFLA, we are very happy to support whatever you do in Indonesia. And I just encourage you all to spend the next this day together, to get to know each other better, to think about how you could work together on projects and doing different things together, and think of those ideas that you came up with, and don't forget them. Take them home with you. Do something about them. Okay? Terima kasih.
Terima kasih. Luar biasa. Mari kita beri tepuk tangan yang meriah dulu dari belakang. Ya, mari. Semangat. Interpretasi dari pembangunan berkelanjutan yang digagas oleh IFLA dan juga kami dukung di Indonesia sudah diterjemahkan ya. Dalam hal ini ada Ibu Sri Sumekar dan saya sendiri waktu itu yang kemudian sudah kami unggah di situs IPI dan juga di situs Perpusnas. Jadi monggo silakan untuk mengunduhnya. Sudah ada di dalam versi bahasa Indonesia beserta juga interpretasinya terhadap apa saja yang bisa kita lakukan sebagai pustakawan di dalam mensukseskan tujuan pembangunan berkelanjutan. Baik, saya kira ini dulu ada pertanyaan atau tidak? Tapi saya mohon waktu ya Pak Romo dan juga kepada Pak Ismail untuk marilah kita tadi mana yang bertugas yang tadi sudah membawa ini, Pak Jarwo, ya. Ada ini tadi, saya mohon untuk kita bisa foto bersama, mungkin tidak bisa seluruhnya ya, ada 600 di sini, tapi ini ada 80 tadi, ya. Mari kita bagikan saja segera. Bagaimana? Apakah sekarang atau bagaimana Pak Dewi? Ya, sekarang. Ya, baik. Ya, sekarang.